Here we go.
You,
Good evening, good morning, good day, wherever the hell you are. My name is Luna fucking Rose, and this is Recovery in the Raw. Now, this is a platform where real recovering addicts share their experience, strength, and hope. We feature one or more speakers each week, if I'm lucky. And if I got the time, I interview at least one a week. Graphic language is permitted. In the meantime, we encourage you to leave your comments. Uh, I upload the, recordings at least within the next day or so if I have time. So you should look for them there, here, wherever, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Although we are not affiliated with NA or any other 12-step fellowship, approved literature is permitted. Just remember, this is your recovery in the raw. The seven tradition of NA does not apply to this podcast. However, donations are accepted to cover the upkeep and maintenance of this channel. Any remaining funds beyond expenses will be sent to a recovery nonprofit organization. If you want to speak, we would love to hear your story. Or if you would like to donate, please send either request to recovery in the raw, that's capital R and raw, at 2050 at gmail.com. Thank you and many blessings. And family, tonight, it's actually 6:18 p.m. where I'm at. Tonight, I bring to you a gentleman who is clean 29 months and originally from Virginia, now lives in Maryland. His name is Nirado. He's also a recording artist, songwriter, and artist in general. I brought him on to the show today to kind of tell us his story and also play a few songs towards the end of the interview. So please stick around for the whole interview so you can catch these songs from my guy, Nirado. And
hey,
without further ado, I'm going to introduce Nirado. Hi, Nirado. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
hey, what's going on there, Luna fucking Rose? Nirado Addict, aka also known as Raw. I mean, so it's only fitting that I be in Raw Recovery because I do everything raw, and Raw used to mean stand for just the raw lifestyle of the streets, the raw attitude, just living raw. I mean, and now it's an acronym that I break down now as recovery at work. You know, so
Cool.
everything we do now is raw. Everything I try to break down everything. What was meant for bad now can also be meant for good. So, instead of having that negative attitude that the streets wanted me to continue to keep having and living in, now I can just put the positive energy into it and flip it around and put out that positive energy and not the negative bullshit. You know, yeah. Born and raised in Virginia, South Virginia, um, and I moved out here in Maryland for when I was like in the third grade. Mom Dukes fell in love with an army dude. She has this thing for army dudes because my pops was in the army when they was together. You know, Ended up getting divorced, going through whatever she did with my pops and remarrying, getting pregnant and stuff and moving out to Maryland. So I've been out in Maryland ever since then. Um,
How was your childhood with your parents and your family? And are you an only sibling, or
I,
how was your childhood for you?
I am the oldest of seven. You know,
That's a family.
I'm 45, and the youngest is he just turned 21 in January. So and he's doing great. So it was a way totally different upbringing from what I see she's done with him to the ones to with us. Not saying that she did anything wrong with me because my mom, I worship the ground my mom walks on, and she did her best with everything that she had, and she's doing even better now. So but I learned a lot in life. Oldest of seven, um, and it was a great. I had a good childhood. Did I see some things growing up? Yes, I did. I watched my mom get beat. Um, and I know that did had a major effect on me at the time because at the time when I watched it and seen it went through it, I was just a scared little kid, not understanding what was going on and wanting to protect my mom. Um, that night was crazy. I remember it like it was yesterday. Um, my grandfather was living at the time, so the dude that beat my mom up, his name was Johnny, and not realizing and knowing he was also in the military too. Again, my mom loved military dudes, and I guess him and my grandfather had a relationship, so he told him to go over and just talk to my mother. As I'm listening, after everything went on that night, I'm listening to what the adults is talking about, and my grandfather even questioned me after everything happened. So to see if I knew and understood what was going on, which I had no idea what was going on. I just seen the chaos and was stuck in the middle of the chaos because I watched my mom go through what she went through. And
I can imagine how traumatic that might be for you.
I don't think I still ever really dealt with it because I held on to the image of dude. And even after he whooped on her, he like had the nerve. All right, at the time that the patio doors, and most of the time you can close the patio door with like a bar or like something solid to lock it in. He picked that up from out of the patio door and hit her in the head with it. Like, and that's the last image that I had of him hitting her with that metal pole. So that night was crazy because after we all left where we was staying at and went to my grandmother's house, my uncles then tried to deal with dude, and they was
Was
trying.
Johnny a drinker or an addict himself, or?
I really don't know too much about dude, but later on in life, I came to find out that see, all this time it was just five of us, five boys, and my mom had a girl with the husband that she remarried and left my dad for. Um, and all this time, I thought that the five of us had the same father, my father. Whole time, that dude Johnny was the youngest father, and I just now found that out in 2015. It's 10 years ago, 10 to 11 years ago,
And that's your
and
younger brother that's
and
21, correct?
no, 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 no. This was my younger brother then. At the time, then
Wow.
he's now in his. I'm 45, so he should be like 30, late 30s, almost 40.
Does he have
So
any communication with him at all, or?
he tried. He tried. He even tried to speak with my dad because all his life he thought that my dad was his pops. He even has his last name, and
Well, he is, in a sense, he is. He is.
but he really, I don't even think he realized how much he looks like my pops, which is crazy because for him not to be his pops, that was crazy. But to find out that the dude that beat my mom whole time is his dad, now it helped me understand more why that situation happened the way it happened. And as a man now, I know that women will do what they need to do to leave or deal with situations, even if they got to keep lies.
Yeah,
And I don't, I
yeah.
don't, I don't, I don't. When I first found out about it, I wanted to be mad at my mother. Um, I held some type of resentment towards my mother for it. But now that I'm in recovery, I can't do nothing but admire my mom and appreciate what she had to deal with. She had to go through what she had to go through to make it to where we at right now in life. So
And same for you and, all your brothers. You got to go through what you go through to get to where you are now. So,
yeah, yeah.
you know, how was your teenage years?
My teenage years was all about sports, sports. Again, being the oldest of six, because then now we had moved from Virginia to Maryland, and living on base, moving around from base to base. She ended up even divorcing him um, after she had my sister, and we moved off base. And then once we moved off base, things just totally changed because instead of being in a base and like on the proving grounds and stuff like that, now I'm starting to see like, and this, I'm not even in the city. I'm living in county. This is county life. So in my mind, where we was moving to was not good neighborhoods, but it was a good neighborhood, truthfully, compared to city life, because I'm in the county and not the city, you know. So my childhood was pretty good. I can't complain about it all at all. My mom did the best she could. She provided. She worked 2, 3 jobs if she had to, and taught me how to have a work ethic. When we had this program called PIC program when I actually turned 14 years old, to where they would take the kids in school. If you was old enough to work, they would get you a job through the summertime, and it was like a real job. Whether you worked at the high school, whatever it was, they would teach you job skills, and give you job, pay you money. So that money helped me provide for the house. You know, even though at that time I wanted clothes and stuff like that. I wanted to look good. I wanted the nice things that my mom couldn't give me. But I didn't understand that I needed to help out in the house. You know, I didn't think that that was my job to do, and which she taught me that, yeah, I have to help out. I'm the oldest of 6, so you have to help. You have to set examples. You know, she always pushed that in me. Set examples, set examples, set examples. Share, share, share. So everything that I had, all my brothers had. You know, they used. My brother would take my clothes, or whatever it was. Like I had no privacy, or nothing was really mine. So and it didn't mean nothing to me because it was all material stuff. And at the end of the day, it was for my family. So what really could I do but just love them? You know,
You mentioned sports. What did you do in sports?
basketball was my love, but I was an athlete. I played football and I ran track, but my love was for basketball. I even played volleyball and was into tennis, but I got into tennis because of female. Um, you know, I got into volleyball because of a female. She played volleyball and she played tennis. And one year I didn't play football, but I played volleyball, and it pissed my coach off because I use volleyball as a tool to get better at jumping. You know, that's a lot of jumping. So, and I wanted to be able to dunk a basketball. And I could never dunk a basketball. I'm 6'2", could never dunk. It was fucking crazy. I did everything I could to try to dunk a basketball. I bought these shoes called strength shoes. It was like this big ass thing on the front of it that would like work out your Achilles tendon or calf muscles and stuff. It was supposed to help you jump higher than what you could. That shit ain't work. Plus, I didn't even fucking use them the way I was supposed to. But whatever. I didn't put in the work that I was supposed to be able to. But I still got good at basketball. It was still a passion of mine. I still spent my time on working on my game and stuff like that. But football was a good sport for me. But I actually loved playing volleyball that one year that I played because I was the only black kid on the court. And to be good at something it was my first year playing, to be able to spike a ball at the time, knowing that these white kids hated me, and to be able to hit the ball the way that I was hitting it and hitting people in the face with it, like I felt good. It felt good. It felt good at the time, you know. But the following year, I didn't play. The following year, I went back to football,
Were
and
you ever able to dunk that ball? Did
fuck
you
no,
ever get?
fuck no.
You know, I'm able to dunk if I lower the basketball hoop.
We had a place that we used to go to as kids all the time. I can't remember the name of it, but you could adjust and lower the rims. So I did all my dunking there, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just to get that feeling, like
Yeah.
I did
put
it.
it put it on 8 feet and I'm good. That 10 feet
All
get me
right.
every time. But
I wish I was a
yeah,
little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish
I
I
I guess you could say that's where my addictive personality came from, because anything that I love to do, I put my all into it. Even when it came to chasing girls, like I put my all into trying to be the player in high school, being the class clown, or being the cool kid, or like I didn't really care about any of that. All the attention came, but I was passionate about playing basketball. I was passionate about girls, and and that's where all my effort and time went into. And then once I had my child at 16, all my time and effort came into her. It was like I wasn't even trying to. I wasn't even learning. I was still focusing on playing basketball, but once I had my daughter, after I had my daughter, it was like now I'm doing the PIC program in the summertime. Now I'm working a job, and all my time and energy became into making sure that I could do for her what I felt as though my mom couldn't do for me. And that was she, but me not knowing that she is doing everything she possibly can to take care of us. You know, I couldn't see that. I just didn't want to be like my mother having a kid. You know, and so I buried it. I buried my time and efforts into working two jobs, um, trying to be a good student, and trying to do my best to be good at basketball. I never really thought of future. Like, so I didn't put my time, I didn't put no effort into wanting to go to college or anything like that. Me trying to make sure that I could provide for my daughter was the most important thing for me, you know.
So may I ask then, what in your mind convinced you to use? What got you started in your DOC? And you can be drug specific, by the way, too.
um I really I really didn't understand the whole using thing. I was a late bloomer. Like, all again, as they say, you jump off the porch. I didn't jump off the porch early. I had a younger brother who jumped off the porch early, and he was running around in the streets early. I graduated. He didn't, you know, so he was out and about in the streets way before me, and I'm the oldest. And I got him by 2, 3 years, and so he already out there in the streets doing thugging and drugging, you know. And after I graduated high school, that's when before I even graduated high school, I was introduced to weed, but I didn't smoke it until after I graduated. I wanted to make some money, so I started selling weed in school. I wanted extra money. I got tired of being broke. I wasn't working enough to say that I could um, really have money in my pocket. And then now I'm seeing people in high school doing any and everything they want, and I'm not understanding how they getting what they want. I know they're not working. They in high school just like me. So how is they being able to have money all the time and have cars or whatever and not working? Come to find out, that people selling drugs, and this is in the '90s. This is back in I graduated in '99, so from '95 to '99. I think back in the '90s, it was totally different then. Like the stuff that's going on now with the fentanyl and all that stuff, we didn't have to worry about none of that then.
No,
Definitely have
no,
to worry
but
about none of that.
not at all.
You
I mean,
know,
I'm 40. I'm 40, so you know, um, you're exactly right. Now, what led you to go from marijuana to whatever else you did? And what did you do?
I think anything we do is always a progression. The more time you spend with it, the more time you do it. After I graduated high school and was off to the races and wanted more money and wanted more things, my desires for cars, money, clothes, hoes, and shit like that, as they say, got bigger and got greater. So my time and effort into working didn't stop, and my hunger for money grew. So from weed, it went to selling coke. I always knew about selling coke. I always knew about selling drugs. I just didn't know about cooking it up until after I was showed how to cook the shit up. Um, and once I was shown that, it was a wrap. I mean, selling crack was the thing. You know, I had my own place, and I turned that place into a daggone 24/7, like a 7-Eleven, one-stop shop. You come get here, you come here, you can get any and everything you wanted. I had coke. I didn't Dope wasn't the thing then at the time. It didn't start coming out our way in the county until like the pill epidemic hit. The
Opioids.
opioid, yeah, and perks and all that stuff hit. So dope wasn't the thing then. I mean, I'm sure people,
Oxycontin.
right. I mean, I'm sure people were still using pain pills then, but it wasn't a big thing then, like it is now. So the main drug then was selling coke and crack. And I had my hands in it. I again, I was still selling. I considered myself a big time drug dealer because the way that I woke up thinking about selling drugs. I went to sleep selling drugs. Like you can knock on my door anytime, and it was being sold to you. If you had money in your pocket, I don't give a fuck if you had $5. I'm taking it. You know, and it helped me take care of my daughter. I
So let me ask you this: you selling your drugs and all that kind of stuff. Did it ever lead you to go to jail or anything like that? Did you ever do any jail time?
um I caught my first sentence 2003. Caught my first. I got locked up for my first major incarceration in 2003. I had a drug charge and a gun charge. Before I got locked up for that, I had got caught with a gun 9/11. Um, and the crazy thing is, when the commissioner asked me why did I had a gun, I was like, "Lady, did you just not see what the fuck happened in New York? What you mean why I have a gun? They motherfucking out here flying planes in the fucking buildings. That's why I had a gun." She was like, "Oh, all right. I'm gonna let you go on your own recognizance. Go right ahead." And I was fucked up. Like, damn, was that easy?
I
No problem. Shit.
gotta use an excuse like that every time.
But I was in the streets hard, and I know at the time when I got locked up for the second gun charge and drugs, I know that was a time where I didn't know at the time, but it was a time where God said, "Nah, you need to sit down because you out here, you really starting to do things that I don't want for you." And I mean, talking like,
What shifted your mind? You did some time. You did any of that shift your mind into finding recovery, or how did you find?
at this time I was 23 years old. I wasn't thinking about no recovery. I ain't know nothing about no recovery or anything like that. So recovery was far out the question. I'm in my 20s. I'm a kid still mentally. But
Yeah,
the thing that I held on the most was I knew that I had a connection with God. And regardless of how I was moving or how I was living, I knew I had a relationship, some type of relationship with God. Um, I went from going to church as a kid to then I shifted into Nation of Islam, 5% Nation of Islam, where I was taught the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and all that stuff, the degrees and everything on that nature. And what that did to me was start really putting that hate the white man, blue eyed devil type shit, and that was crazy for me because my child's mixed, as they call them, and my girl was white, so there was no way that I could be continuing to preach that type of stuff, that type of hate, because it was doing nothing but making me hate everything around me. You
that's
know,
what you said. You said preaching hate, and you're going to get hate back. You know what
mhm.
I mean? So,
And it was definitely coming back. It was definitely coming back tenfold. Like from dudes hating on me in the streets, seeing the moves that I'm making, to even uh, addicts and people, which I didn't understand. I called them junkies at the time. was stealing from me and trying to set me up and all types of shit. So my head was always on a swivel. It kept me with a gun and just craziness, just the insanity of all of the shit.
So when did you find recovery?
I didn't find recovery until this last situation where I got locked up with the feds. Again, that's the progression. That's the progression of the illness and not addressing the things that is really like mentally fucking with me. By the time I caught this Fed charge, I'm full fledged in addict, not just in living in the streets, but using now. And it's not about selling drugs anymore now. It's about using now and doing everything to make sure that I will never go without. Um, if I'm grabbing coke, an ounce of coke it used to go, and I'm selling that whole ounce. Now I'm using that whole ounce, and me seeing this progression happening, me knowing that it's progression, because I'm not just using coke, I'm using dope now. I'm sniffing dope, and I'm rubbing dope in my hands and getting high from doing that. Um, I'm smoking crystal meth, eating it. I was eating it because smoking it didn't do nothing for me. So eating it made me feel like I was eating Molly. I'm chasing e-pills. I had e-pills all the time. Drinking heavy, you know. I'm still working. I'm still working. And I'm bouncing from hotel room to hotel room, living that hotel lifestyle, you know, killing myself, trying to make sure I can keep a roof over my head. Meanwhile, the girl that I'm dealing with is making sure that she got what she wants, because she's leeching to me because she know I'm going to make sure she good. She got a roof over her head and she high. And any female that I was dealing with was doing the same thing. You know, I kept like 3 or 4 women in constant rotation. You know, and all of them knew about each other, and I did not hide or sugarcoat anything. You know, what's the point of lying? They say you only lie to the police and the judge, and that's all I lied to. Because if I love you, I'm not going to lie to you. But I also know that sometimes we lie to the ones that we love because we care about their feelings. And I always hid my addiction from my family, my mother, my brothers, and my daughter. They had no idea I was out. They just thought I was selling drugs and being in the streets. They had no idea that I was so far in addiction the way that I was. Um, and I'm talking like after I came home from my 10-year bit, I'm still off to the races because the whole time I'm in jail, I'm in the mix. I gotta do what I need to do to make sure that I can survive. I gotta do what I need to do because I'm not gonna keep writing home, calling home, asking for money. You know, I learned how to turn water into wine on some Jesus type shit, and me having that spiritual connection and reading the Bible and believing in the Bible at the time, because I changed from 5% to now I believe, and having this relationship and this connection with God. If I believe the Bible is the truth and Jesus is doing everything he's doing, I can do it too. If he could turn water into wine, why can't I? Not knowing that that's a science towards that, like, and not knowing that all this stuff was metaphorically speaking. It takes time to do stuff like that. Like, you can't just turn water into wine like that. No. But it takes time and effort, and I learned how to do that. Also, kept me drunk. You know, it kept money because if I'm making it, I'm selling it. I'm not gonna drink all this shit, and people was buying it. You know, I was catching drugs through the mail. You know, so nothing changed. They say in our rooms, if nothing changed, nothing changed. Nothing changed when I started doing my time. I looked at it as all I'm doing is being just like my pops, because my pops had did time. I didn't know that I was repeating that cycle from him. He went AWOL from the military. You know, I later found out that my mom told me that he was over in Germany. He was stationed in Germany, and he went over there and he sniffed some shit. This is in the 80s. He sniffed some shit over there, and he can't. He did not come back the same person. So when they say that this disease is genetic, it's genetic because now I see this same cycle manifesting itself in my child. You know, so
I was
I'm
born
grateful.
in, yeah, I was
I'm
born into the disease of addiction too. So
uh, I mean, so and did you watch your pops go through it? Did you watch your moms
no,
go through it?
I was adopted. So, we were born, I say we because I have a twin, but we were born, with pounds and put in an incubator and withdrawing off drugs, right from the start.
Mm-hmm.
So, we got adopted at 1 year old. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but, my family had some issues too, and I seen some stuff, from my father at the time, he was a cop and, some of those cases get pretty real and, sometimes you gotta drink it away. And,
Yeah,
I witnessed some of that. So,
yeah,
I did see that. And, it just, I too mimic the traits even of my adoptive father. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Man, we good as our surroundings. Our environment creates and makes everything, and makes for the decisions that we make a lot.
so what was
Um,
the turning point for you?
um, this this last case that I caught, this because the decisions that I was making, um, I was so impulsive, and the mentality that I had gained when I was locked up for the 10 years, I'm banging hard. I think I'm so caught up in cripping and that whole mentality of I'm gonna be the hardest, and whatever I do, I'm gonna go full fledged, full dick hard at it. You know, that was with everything that I did. Clearly, from basketball to now in the streets, I'm going hard at it. You know, I was out here robbing John Deere, and I got put on to that hustle through somebody else that already had federal charges, and he seen how I was moving and living, baiting me into the whole situation, not realizing I'm thinking money. That's all I'm thinking is money, 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 because I'm so money hungry and so caught up in, all right, if I get this money, I can do this and do that and flip this and flip that, not realizing that I was being a pawn. I was nothing but a pawn in somebody else's game. You know, he brought me on and used me to get everything and do everything that he needed and wanted, and was giving me scraps. Which, look, if I put you onto a hustle, I'm not going to give you what I'm getting. You know, so I understand all that. Only to turn around and after we get caught up and jammed up, get turned around and you cooperate with the fucking state's attorney. Like, how the fuck you put me? How you use me all the way like that just to tell them? I was gonna fight my charges because they had nothing on me. The state had dropped the charges, and I had no idea that the feds had picked the charges up, and which was a blessing. I can say that now it was a blessing because had the feds not picked them charges up, I would have never had that federal warrant that I had. And that night I was sitting in that parking lot getting ready to do what I normally do, chilling with the girl that I was with. We always sit in the parking lot where we were sitting at, get high and fucking in the car. I didn't had nights where we even slept and lived in the car. You know what I mean? Like the things that we do when we chasing that trying to get that next one, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. And the way
So
that
when did you find your 12-step program?
where did I find it? In the
When?
feds.
Yeah.
When in the feds of October the 18th is when I they sent me, the feds sent me to um a program, and it was a 30-day program, and that was just straight up detoxing. Um, while I was
Now,
there,
real quick, I want you to iterate on how awful it is to detox and withdraw off that stuff. How was that for you?
for me, it was way better than what I was seeing other people go through. Way better. Like I didn't realize what I was going through was withdrawal. I just thought that it was just me being away from not being you been able to use again. Like I didn't know that from alcohol withdrawal, you shit yourself and you shiver and people don't want to bathe and shit like that. Like from just alcohol, I'm thinking that you go through that when you're using dope and harder drugs. I didn't know if alcohol did that to you. So when I seen that, I'm like, damn, I'm grateful that I don't know that feeling. Even with when I was using heroin, and if I use it for like more than a couple of days and don't use it, I would feel the DTs, you know. And so I always told myself that I don't want that feeling, that physical feeling. So that kept me from like using heroin a lot. And then
So,
what really kept me from using heroin a lot was the fentanyl. All the old overdosing that was the fentanyl was going through. So what I seen while I was detoxing, it wasn't what normally you see and hear. The withdrawals go. I didn't have those shakes, and it was just me being away from the streets. It was just me being away from my family. That's what I was withdrawing from. It was just me dealing with reality that damn, I didn't put myself in this situation, and my decisions have led to me being where I'm at and actually really admitting that I'm an addict. You know,
so you went to this program, and then you find recovery. So have you been in recovery ever since, or did
yeah,
you? Yeah. So
yeah. I've been
you haven't ever relapsed, right?
no, no, and not saying that is not it could happen because it definitely could happen. And
Oh yeah, never say never.
I'm also learning that there's a difference between relapse and a lapse. You can have a lapse in judgment. You can have a lapse in whatever. But a relapse is when you just full fledged out there and off to your races, to your DOC, and you like fuck it. You know, have I had lapse in moments? Yeah, even without even using, I've had lapses, but I've not had a relapse. No. Um,
So what would what would you tell a newcomer, coming into the program? What would you say that might get them to stay?
you gotta take it a day at a time. It's not going to happen overnight. Miracles do happen, and the miracle is the fact that you are possibly sitting in a program. You are possibly you going through the withdrawal. That's the miracle right there. That's use that as your aha moment to grow closer to whatever higher power you have because any we can use anything as a higher power. I can use this microphone as my higher power. Um, I can use my family as a higher power, but whatever your higher power is, you get to grow closer to it, you know. And the God of my understanding allows me to see and know that I cannot do this by myself, and that He had to snatch me out of that fire to get me where I am at today.
So
You
when you
know,
say you can't do this by yourself, that would inquire that you have a sponsor,
I have a
um,
I have a
and
sponsor, I have a
and you've
home
worked
group,
the steps.
Yep, I work the steps, and all this is helping me maintain my sobriety. I talk to my sponsor as much as I can. It was his birthday Saturday, so he went out to the Ashanti concert that was out here in Baltimore. Um, and he knows that I'm an artist, and so the week before that, or 2 weeks before that, he was at a Ghostface concert and sent me. He did a Google Meets with me, showing me him performing on stage and stuff like that, and I enjoyed that because that let me know that he was thinking about me. He knows my passion. He knows that I have a passion for art, and it was motivating for me to see that because I can be there and I want to be there, and I just gotta keep working at what I want. Um, my relationship with my sponsor is great. Me and him is going through losing our grand sponsor, which it hit him a lot harder than it hit me because I only had him in my life for the last 2 years. Um, Me doing the 6 months that I did with the feds, I didn't know that I was going to come home to losing him. Um, but when I first seen him, when I came back home, I'm like, damn, Will, you lost a lot of weight. He was like, yeah, I'm withering away. And when he said that, that prepared me for the process of losing him because he knew. But I felt as though he knew that he was getting ready to go. So it was a lot harder for my sponsor to deal with because he had him for over 20 years. He's been clean and sober 20 years. His sobriety date was in January, the 21st of January. So, and he celebrated 20 years. So having him and having my grand sponsor to be the example of the program that I work allowed me to see and know that this program works, that I don't ever have to use again. Not saying that there's a difference between being sober and being clean. And my grand sponsor was telling me this. He asked me myself, he challenged me myself. He said, what's the difference between being sober and being clean? And I had to look the words up. What does clean mean? Clean means to be pure, be pristine, be perfect, basically. I will never be clean because I will never be perfect. This mind of mine get to thinking, and I still have old ways and habits of mine that I've been holding on to and been living in that has been hard for me to let go. But every day I get a
Now
chance.
you face a lot of that. You being in the 12 steps, you face a lot of that in step four. You face a lot of the things that you hold on to, resentment, stuff like that. And it's important. It's important to get that out. Because if you keep it in, it's eventually going to erupt like a volcano.
Yeah,
So,
and I just finished my step forward too. Me and my sponsor going to go over my inventory list. Um, and with the inventory list, you don't have to just put bad stuff. I put good stuff on there too because I didn't want to just focus on the bad. You know, um, I can focus on the good as well. Um, and that's motivating. You know, but I have to deal with a lot of the shit that I keep in because if I don't deal with them, all I'm gonna do is continue to keep the cycle of behaviors that I'm trying that I want to get rid of. Um, as my grand sponsor said before the last words he said to me before he passed was, "I don't have to go back," and I take that deal with me because I don't have to go back to using. I don't have to go back to old behaviors. I don't have to go back to the streets. I don't have to go back to anything.
and that's insinuating you have a choice.
Yeah, yeah. I have a choice today. I have a choice today, and that's step three. That's step three. That I can work each and every day. That I have to work every day. First, I got to work step one, and stay surrendered. Because if I don't stay surrendered and take my power back, I know what that leads me to. Fucking jail cells, federal charges, ankle monitors on my fucking ankle right now. Being tracked, my every movement being tracked, and I fucking don't like. I hate this shit. I hate
So
being
can you say that your life has gotten progressively better since you've been in recovery?
progress. In 2 years, I went from the last 2 years. I now sit in my own space. I'm not in a program relying on transportation from the program to come take me somewhere. I'm not paying $100 a month program fees and living on food stamps, even though the food stamps is a great help, and that TDAP money was a great help. But I am worth so much more than $300 a month from the government. I actually work a job now. I'm employable, as they say, and I always worked the job, but the effort I put into those jobs was not as much as I put into the job now. You know, I
So none of
we
which could have happened if you were. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. Nothing. None of that would have happened if you weren't, using, or if you were using. Sorry, if you were
right, right.
using, you wouldn't be, in the state you are now. And
Nope.
your relationship, I'm assuming, with your daughter is good.
My relationship with my daughter is she is the female version of me, basically. You know,
And is that one of your driving forces? To remain sober, as you put
she
it.
definitely is a driving force for me, and I can't tell her how to live her life. You know, I can only be a better example for her because she's seen me. She's seen me go through the things that I went through. Leaving her for those incarcerations has affected her greatly, you know, and me seeing it, not understanding what it did to me when I was a kid, my father not being there. But now I understand it a lot more with my child. And now I am definitely putting the effort into being that father figure for my grandkids. Even though I'm not their father, I treat them like they are my kids. You know, it sucks that I can't be around them as much as I want to because of this fucking ankle monitor. But at the end of the day, I am able to talk to them every day. I can get them close to me. She can come to me now and not worry about not being able to come over because I'm in a program. Um, I have been blessed with my own apartment with my lady. You know, and
Recovery doesn't offer us riches; it offers us to be functioning members of society.
make better decisions. Make
Yeah,
better decisions. Yeah,
have a better life, a new way to live.
yeah, and I'm definitely making better decisions. And whatever dreams that you have, you can chase them. You can't chase your
I
dreams
always
if
tell
you.
people the only one who limits us is us.
Yep. I was my own nightmare. I was getting in my own way. And everybody used to I always used to wonder why people would say to me when they meet me, like preachers or chaplains, and when I was locked up, they would always say Chaplain Bison when I was in Cumberland. I was learning I was studying to be a preacher, and I have the ability to write ministry out and whatever. But the chaplain used to always tell me, you have greatness in front of you. You will be great. You're going to touch so many lives. I never understood what he was saying, but today now I know I want to chase greatness. The greatness that I have,
Exactly.
the greatness that I want now is just being sober.
A functioning member of society.
Yes, yes.
And I will say this, and you bring up something, you said that you'll be destined for greatness. And, I didn't know my purpose either till I found, the program of recovery, the 12-step programs. I didn't know what my purpose was. But now I do. It's interviewing you and other people and doing that kind of thing. And you happen to write songs that are recovery based, correct?
I mean, I'm an artist. Period. Is not they not all my music is not all recovery based, but I have recovery based songs. I'm putting more of my effort into recovery because I feel as though that's me being in service. That's me giving back. That's me utilizing my talent the way that I feel as though is needed right now because of how addiction is running crazy right now. Um, and now I feel as though that's my audience that I have. Yes, they say we have to practice anonymity. I also know that mm, if I'm giving a message of hope, if I'm giving a message, if I'm sharing my experience and my strength, um, if I'm letting you know that this process worked for me, yes, I've been here and done that, and I can make it through it, and so can you. Then I'm gonna paint that picture. I'm I'm not gonna put it out there like it's all about NA, and I'm gonna practice the principle of anonymity because that's what they tell us to do. But I'm gonna use my talents to the best of my ability, the way that God wanted me to use them, the way my higher power is using me to use it. For
I
me,
heard that. Yeah,
for
heard that.
for me, art is truth. Truth is love, and love is God. So if I'm not moving in that line right there, if I'm not utilizing, if I'm not speaking the truth, I'm not showing love. If I'm not showing love, I'm not being God like, So that's where I'm at in life right now.
All right. Well, we
I'm
happen to
doing
have. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm doing my best not to let everyday living get the best of me. Still got issues that I need to deal with and battle with. Still that I fight through. But I'll have those issues that I'm dealing with now today way more than dealing with the legal issues than living in the streets or chasing trying to get the next one.
Even though we go through recovery, it doesn't mean that life is not going to life.
Right. Life is gonna still be lifing.
That's right. That's right. And I also happen to have three songs that you sent to me that you've composed.
Fuck a battle rap,
Fuck a battle rap, man. I battle with myself.
all the drugs, so I never kill myself. I'm an addict and I know, pick it up, I'm a fly. If I never pick it up, ain't no way a nigga die. Different ways to do your time.
You might want to run it back.
Yelling down the tear, fishing all night for the juice. OJ got these niggas tripping like they Pac, Star and Juice. Old head told me this the only way it keeps a nigga loose in the shoot. And the only thing look forward to is mail. Three hot meals in
the shower. This fucking hell. Dig up out the hole like I'm resurrected Christ.
Is the one I have for
Is the one I have for life.
People, Crips and Bloods, all the
Crips and
thugs.
Bloods,
Your
all
life
the
is for the
thugs.
street. Feeling lost and chasing drugs, popping X and slinging O's. Wanna kiss and need a hug. Have a purpose in your life, and it's all about the love.
It's all about the love. You want to sober up today? You want to get some help? You want to live a better life? Go and get some help. Big Raw, and I'm passing out this love. I'm Big Raw, and I'm passing out this love. You want to sober up today? You want to get some help? You want to live a better life? Go and get some help. I'm Big Raw, and I'm passing out this love. I'm Big Raw, and I'm passing out this love.
Raw entertainment. That's what I do, man. Spread the love, man. Give it to you raw. Yeah. Yeah. Merlin's finest, nigga. Body more. Represent be more. So I gotta be more. Yeah. Big Raw!
Big Raw! The audio was kind of messed up in the beginning, but
Oh, my bad. Did you hear the rest of it though?
I heard the ending part of it. In the beginning, it was like it slowed down, and then it was speeding up, and then it was slowing down again, and then it finally caught up towards the middle of it.
Huh. I'll have to go through and listen to it and see if it was maybe just on yours. But if not, then what I can do.
It didn't sound like that for you?
No, it sounded clear.
Okay, well then I guess it was just on my end then.
It might be your equipment.
It probably. I'm still trying to learn how to use this thing.
Yeah, you got a little bit of like a reverb echo kind of thing going on. But I will play the other one now. Also, if no one hears this through Zoom somehow, I will also post them in the comments below each platform that I use, so you can listen to them separately via that in the chat below the video.
Okay.
So I'll do it that way as well. Um, Next, we are going to pull up the other one. Now I've heard this one, I believe.
Just for the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did that on Misfit Monday.
that is right, which is today.
Yep, yeah.
All right, so you should be able to see it. Let me make sure you can hear it. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect here.
Raw entertainment. Let's have some fun. Yo. Just for the day, I will live for the moment. Just for the day, I will claim it and own it. Just for the day, I will let go and let God do it one day at a time. Gotta go hard. Just for the day, I will live for the moment. Just for the day, I will claim it and own it. Just for the day, I will let go and let God do it one day at a time. Gotta go hard. Tell yourself, just for the day, my thoughts will be on my recovery, living, enjoying life still, without the use of drugs. Just for the day, I will walk and have faith with someone working in there, who believes and wants to guide me in my recovery. Just for the day, living all of my abilities. I have a program, call it in. So just for the day, guaranteed I got a break. Just for the day, I will better my perspectives. Just for the day, I'm unafraid and protected. Just for the day, my thoughts is on associations, not living in fear. Just for the day, appreciations. Just for the day, I will live for the moment. Just for the day, I will claim it and own it. Just for the day, I will let go and let God do it one day at a time. Gotta go hard. Just for the day, I will live for the moment. Just for the day, I will claim it and own it. Just for the day, I will let go and let God do it one day at a time. Gotta go hard. Just for the day, just for the day, just for the day, just for the day, hey, just for the day, I will let go and let God do it one day at a time. Gotta go hard. I wrote this sitting in an NA meeting. I was looking for some help, so I'm always praying. Shouldn't even be through. Feds wanted to keep me. Can nothing stop a blessing, cause my God is with me. I wasn't giving this for me and myself. I've been led in this direction for purpose and help. Giving tools and loads of knowledge just to better my life. Fuck a overdose on fentanyl, it's better to like what your life like, mine is real. They put that shit on everything, walking zombies for real. I got a name, and my shit sounds phenomenal. Recovery's real, I'm a beast of the abominable. Gotta thank God for being a walking example. I can hold on to his lead now, make my life matter. Just for today, I can live life, thank my higher power for life. Just for the day, I will live for the moment. Just for the day, I will claim it and own it. Just for the day, I will let go and let God do it one day at a time. Gotta go hard. Just for the day, I will live for the moment. Just for the day, I will claim it and own it. Just for the day, I will let go and let God do it one day at a time. Gotta go hard. Just for the day, 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 I will let go and let God do it one day at a time. Gotta go hard.
Just for the day, you gotta go hard, man. Just for the day, you gotta stay. Just for the day and be appreciative of what we have today. Let go and let God and allow Him to wait Life is so much better. I struggle every day to take my power back, but I know that I need to do. I need to know that there's no living in hell. Right now I'm in hell. We're not in hell. So, just for the day, I'm going to keep doing the right thing right now. That's just for the day, I was playing it. For the day, I was never going to recognize. Just for the day, I was playing it. Just for the day,
Gotta go hard.
Yeah. Thanks T.I. for the beat.
All right. How did that sound for you?
It sounded great. It was a part where it cut off, but
Well, it'll do that if you're talking into your mic. It'll cut it off in your ear.
I ain't got my headphones in. I'm using the speaker right now, but
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I know what's being said, and as long as the audience can hear it, and it's not cutting off for everybody else to hear it on my end,
I wasn't experiencing anything, so they should be able to hear it. And like I said, I'll post it in the comments below too.
Okay.
So we're gonna play one more, and this one is Mixtape Chronicles.
Chronicles of an Addict.
Yay. All right, we're gonna pause this. Pull it up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mute me. Wait, disconnect.
Yo, it's your boy Raw Entertainment, Murderland, HDG.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Come get with me.
The medical examiner said the cocaine
Okay.
in his body was virtually pure.
Woke up from a drug dream, nigga had cocaine, so I started writing just to give you my cocaine. Yeah, I've been an addict, so I'm bringing the pain. Method man stuck on meth, motherfucker fame. I live my life best way that I can. Make you put your hands together is the master plan. Got a sponsor making meetings and I'm working my steps till a nigga reach the top. Only way that I step, call me an alpha dog, always keeping it raw. Even in recovery, nigga, I'm always raw. What I have is the NA way. Yeah, it works. I ain't standing on the corner just to give you this work. Takes a lot to keep this beast inside. Fuck that. I'ma treat you niggas like Diddy and tell you take that. No Diddy nigga, I ain't never been biased. On the mic, I'm better than Jordan. Call me Lim Bias. Keep a priceless hearts for priceless hearts. If you chasing a bitch, you weak in the heart. Big difference in the queen and the bitch to me. Queen is always by your side, bitch fucking for free. I'm a king and I walk with my head high. Inviting all you haters, I don't need me a head high. Tell you that I love you when I show you it real. Higher power living in me, so he's keeping me real. Yeah. 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 So you walk on by. Okay. Gotta do it, baby. Chase these dreams.
Walk
Yeah,
on by.
that's what I do. Keeps it R.A.W.
R.A.W. Recovery at work.
Yeah, okay.
Rhyme at will.
Yeah. That was more of a freestyle type. That wasn't really no song. I was just putting some bars out there, and
Nah,
just
that was
running.
all three of those, Passing Out Love, Just for Today, and Mixtape Chronicles of an Addict. They're all great songs. They're all, from the heart. They're all true stories of addicts. And all we got is just for today, right? That's all we
Just
got.
for the day. That's all we have.
Sometimes just
So,
for the minute.
yep. Yep.
So, if there was one other thing that you could say, to people about how passionate you are in recovery and how much recovery is played in your life, how would you express that, to people other than in your art that you put out and stuff like that? Well, what could you say from the heart that would, really maybe make someone come back or come?
Um, ain't nothing but it ain't nothing but death out there in them streets. If you anything of wanting to live life instead of kill yourself or kill others, and when I say kill others, because the addiction to the street life, a lot of people don't really understand that that's an addiction in itself, and that's what one of the main things that I was addicted to, that I have been addicted to, and still to this day, right now, fight that addiction because I never understood when people say money is a trigger, and I understand that now because money can be my trigger to where now I got some money now I can go get this and get that and hustle this and flip that. That's part of this. That's part of that cycle of a mentality that of the street life, and I got to deal with that and battle that every day, you know. And
You
that's
want to
the
know
humbling.
how you want to know how I flip the hustle? So like for me, I let's say I make some money or not even that. Let's say sometimes I go like if I have a vehicle, I go to different neighborhoods that are like tossing shit out on trash day. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And there'll be like some nice shit in some nice neighborhoods. They just throw the new shit out and get new. So I take that shit and I turn it around and sell it on fucking marketplace. So like that's a clean hustle. You know what I mean? That's a clean
that
hustle.
that is smart as shit because the next man's trash is somebody else's treasure, you
That's
know,
right.
and we so wasteful as Americans that we will throw something brand new away because we're just wasteful.
So I
So
take it
like,
and I sell it to someone who wants something brand new that someone threw away.
yeah, like it's crazy the amount of waste that we throw and consider it waste and whole time is useful to somebody else. You
That's
know,
right.
so
That's right. And it's a clean hustle. It's a clean hustle.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. That's smart too, though. That's smart on your behalf. On your behalf. But
You know,
what
I
I would
also I
say,
also do cleaning jobs, like cleaning work, too.
yeah,
So I mean, any way I can make clean money.
yeah. What I would also say is don't give up until the miracle happens because a lot of times we give up and think that it's going to happen overnight, or we so used to instant gratification that we don't realize we have to put in that work to get what we want. And the same way we was out there chasing whatever DLC it is, we have to put in that work in recovery. So
I
don't give
often
up.
tell people, I often tell people when I was using, meth and crack and coke, I would, start on my phone at 10 a.m. and then look up. All of a sudden, it's 4 p.m. You know what I mean? So if I could put that amount of time in my recovery, I'd be going somewhere. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and you are, because right now you helping the next. You definitely helped me. I didn't expect to be doing no interview or even pushing my music out there like that, and here I am sitting talking to you about some recovery shit, and you're helping me push the passion that I have, and I appreciate that, and I'm grateful and thankful for you for that. So I appreciate you, bro. I
You know,
appreciate you.
and I know one thing that we are doing is helping another addict, and I'm not doing this for fame. I'm not doing this for fortune. I'm doing this because I think recovery needs to be more mainstream, and I think it's hitting that way.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I want to help push recovery mainstream, and let
yeah.
people know that there's a way. There is a way. You don't have to be
There's that.
standing out in the street holding a sign saying, "How's me and my dog?" Services for free. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I'm not out there doing that shit. You know what I mean? And there is a way to get out of that. I mean, we just get stuck in it. So, once we find recovery, I think, and I'll just say this, and I know you're going to agree that it's an everyday treatment.
yes, it is, and we need more like you, love. You know, if we have more like you pushing the way that you pushing, like the mean, it's endless. The possibility is endless. But it starts with us. All we gotta do is just do our part, and it's also keeping us sober. It's keeping me sober. I know it's keeping you sober. Um,
Absolutely.
so I'm grateful.
And when you hear someone's story, you're reminded of your story, because like our situations are different, but the outcomes are always the same.
Always the same. Yep.
So when you're in a meeting, whether it be a brick and mortar, what we call in-person meeting, or whether it be on a Zoom platform, anything that you might hear from anyone might just save your life. It could even be the newcomer coming in off a relapse or just coming in for the first time, and they say, how terrible it is. You're reminded that it was that terrible and that, you don't want to be that again. So it pushes you forward. And then you can also help that other addict and say, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. Just like you said,
Right.
if Jesus can do it, I can do it. You know what I mean? So
Right. 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 That's real rap. That's real rap. Look, I was in an in-person meeting last night, and I in the beginning of recovery, I always wanted to judge whether it was a female or a white dude. How the fuck how they gonna understand my struggles, or how can I understand anything that they're about to say? And this brother spoke everything that I was feeling, everything that I've been through, minus the charges that he had.
he
But
spoke your story. Yeah.
he spoke my story, and white dude, it had nothing to do with race, but it had everything to do with addiction, and
The
that was the
disease.
main.
The disease.
That was the main focus. So I learned in the beginning, like, I cannot judge the messenger. I have to listen to the message, because we all have mess that has been aged, and now it becomes our message to give to others, especially the newcomer.
Correct. Correct. And I thank you for your participation with the interview, and taking your time to share your story with us. And I thank the compliments, and I also, loved your music. I too write, compose songs, write in general. So we'll have to get together on that sometime, because I
Yeah,
can I
yeah,
can dr- I can drop bars too. So um
yeah, it's needy.
I'll show you some stuff later on. We'll get in touch, and I'll let you hear some shit. But you know, uh, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have you, and it's a blessing to see that you're a healthy, recovering addict, or an addict in recovery, rather, because we
Yes,
never fully recover. We just, we're in recovery, so there's no cure, and that's why it's an everyday treatment. But I appreciate you're spending the time of your day to share your story and your hope and your strength. And you definitely show that. You know,
Listen, Luna, you shared your platform with me and you shared your time with me as well. So I appreciate you and I thank you and love you for that as well. And it was all about recovery. So we helping each other stay sober today. So I'm grateful for you. So
you know,
I
where
mean,
two or more are gathered.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
We had our own little meeting just now.
So anyway, I am now going to stop recording. But again, thank you for your participation. Stick here though.